Auriel is a healer that, in theory, is unreliable due to needing a high damage carry to consistently damage enemies in order to keep up energy for healing. Though fighting is a common activity in Heroes due to the objectives, though she gains energy from her own attacks and abilities extremely quickly either way. Auriel's trait is why she doesn't have a mana bar, and she uses energy with one of her abilities to heal allies instead. She gains energy off of her own damage dealt and can choose a single target to gain energy from their damage as well. She gains more energy off of her own attacks than the teammate she linked to, less energy gain for non-heroic targets, but she can still heal while in side lanes. Empathic Link is alright for getting energy from allies taking damage and can grab either Will or Wrath of Heaven depending on if her carries primarily basic attack or cast spells respectively. Ariel's Q is a wide damage arc in front of her that sweeps from both sides in and deals extra damage to targets in the center of the arc. It's alright for gaining energy off of minion waves and occasionally from heroes, and it doesn't do much else. There are a ton of talents for this ability, but aside from the couple damage ones, this ability can have a ton of utility added to it. Unfortunately, Blinding Flash, which blinds enemies hit for 2 seconds, and Converging Force, which displaces enemies towards the center, are the same level. But Majestic Span makes both of these better at what they do, and without having to go far forward in teamfights. Her W is her healing ability, and it consumes all energy to heal allies in the zone for the amount of energy consumed. Its strengths are that it's a strong AoE heal with a pretty short cooldown, but its weaknesses are that she kinda has to be in combat to get strong heals every time she presses it. The talents can make her a pretty strong healer in combat, notably Glimmer of Hope, which reduces the cost of her W to only 25% max energy for the full heal whenever she grabs a regen globe, and Reservoir of Hope, which gives max energy every single time she casts a max heal. Auriel's E is a line skill shot that hits only the first hero and knocks them back a considerable distance. It also stuns targets if they collide with terrain and they take additional damage. It's honestly a really solid ability for a support to have in order to peel themselves. Since the knockback can't be reduced by the typical stun and root duration reducing abilities, a target would have to be unstoppable to not get peeled from her. It has a talent for damage, but also one that slows enemies hit, and one that pierces while decreasing the cooldown for hitting targets. Her first ult is Crystal Aegis, which forces an allied hero into stasis for 2 seconds and then explodes in a large AoE for some damage dealt. It's got a few uses for whatever anyone can need stasis for, but it is reliant on Ariel paying attention, assuming it's not only used on herself. The Storm talent gives 75 armor for 5 seconds to the target, which would be pretty nice, but less effective if the target is already low, which is usually when they would need stasis. Her second ult is Resurrect, which allows her to bring an ally back from the dead up to 5 seconds before they respawn at the spot of their death. It takes a 1-second channel to start it, then they'll come back after 3 seconds with 100% maximum health. She can also use this on herself when she dies. I do think it might be a bit much to let a Resurrect be used on the caster after death, but it's only really busted being used on her specifically because she doesn't need mana. It's alright for allies, but sometimes hard to get to their death location if it's a dive assassin or if the fight just moves away from where they died. The Storm talent gives the target movement speed upon coming back, and the cooldown speeds up while they stay alive. She has 2 other interesting talents aside from the ones mentioned, being Angelic Flight, which is potentially all the movement this character would ever need, and Shield of Hope, which can potentially save multiple allies from high damage AoEs. Flight is particularly weird because it's very similar to Falstad's Flight, but instead of a 75-second cooldown, it's less than half that. It also gives her a way to run away when a fight goes bad or she starts getting picked off. In conclusion, this character has some niche use cases where she's pretty good. Most compositions will have a high damage dealer for her to stay with and be able to chuck heals at whoever needs it, but preferably most of her team members. She's pretty easy to target after she uses her only peel ability though, so mispositioning on her is a death sentence.